Hello. Hope everything's going your way out there. I put that together. Well, me and Dana put that together. There's a lot people can learn from somebody like Dana about unconditional love. About what real love. We keep having to put these silly things like adjectives in front of other words to make sure people know what we mean, when the whole time love is supposed to be unconditional by default. Sometimes we hurt. Sometimes we can't even say the words. That's all right. We all fall short of the glory of God, but we can stand in it anyways. Because God is love, and love is always unconditional. You know, I was talking the other day about after what I've come to know and what I've come to heal inside of myself, and I've seen how my world changes second by second as I heal. And guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. Every great spiritual leader, whether named in the Bible or otherwise, if you look into them, you're going to find something out unless you've experienced things similar to what they've experienced. You may not ever grasp it fully, but I do. Every great spiritual leader that ever graced this earth and made great meaningful change and impacted people's lives were victims, childhood traumas. Moses was thrown into a river full of alligators. Moses wasn't thrown directly in that river from womb to water, water to water. Moses was thrown into that river after he had a little bit of understanding, maybe not rational, but he didn't come out of the womb and go straight into the river where he didn't know better, because he survived the river. And from the beginning, Moses lived a life of trauma. And when we express and we act, and just like Moses, we're trying to remember our traumas so we can heal them. Moses wasn't any different. They tell these heroic stories and they're beautiful, and inspiration has its purpose. That's true. But we're not talking about that today. Talking about something else, another angle that nobody ever seems to talk about. Childhood trauma and how it impacts us our whole lives until we heal. Moses thrown into the river after knowing what a mother was like, to knowing what it was to be nurtured. You think that children that young can't remember something? There's an intelligence all in your body called cells. And they remember, and they know. Wonder what else Moses saw in his times in the Pharaoh's court, in the Pharaoh's house, that were not mentioned. But surely we see them manifest and expressed through him all throughout his life and times walking with God. Another one that we're going to talk about, you imagine, you see how the prophets were behaving and everything, and we love to say God told them to do that, very well so, but now I'm going to present a different point of view. God, in our unrefined states, in our unliberated states, God only has what we have inside to work with, and he grows us, and we grow in God, and eventually we're right there with him, and we're in him, and he's in us, and you might as well say we become gods, goddesses, priestesses and priests, prophets and oracles. And you think, well, they just woke up and went straight in there and at it. what does that say about their behaviors and their expressions? All the other thing, there's lots of fear in there, wasn't there? There's a lot of worries and anxieties. They were always afraid. That tells me that we don't just start being afraid, we have to learn that and practice it a few times over time, don't we? All starts from a need not being met. This results in emotional traumas, maybe physical traumas, usually emotional traumas when I talk about it. Then let's go on to the beautiful man named Jesus. See, that beautiful Jewish man do many things. And we think about, and the dog has to steal the show, piss it out and move on. Get, you on the camera doing that shit. Get, hey! Don't stare at me, go empty your bladder off screen. And so, we come to our time with the beautiful Jewish man named Jesus. And we see what he lived, what his experiences were a little bit. He didn't come out of the womb and they ran to Egypt for he knew better. He made friends with all of those kids around him. He was getting experience, and I believe that the Jewish people, they were very happy. Their leaders were very haunted and traumatized, and they traumatized an entire nation that had rippling effects to this day where they are warlike people. That's so sad, so tragic. And you can tell they're warlike because they grin and they enjoy it as they bomb other people, and their cousins over there they bomb that they won't claim, bomb them right back, and they can't get together and smile and smoke a cigarette and drink a Coke and shut the fuck up. It's not what I'm here to talk about today. Jesus was having the happy Jewish experience of a young Jewish man in those times, a young Hebrew, Israelite, whatever we may call him. He was having a nice normal experience, and then probably got hinted at that he was a chosen one, got some things thrown on to him. There's no doubt that he wasn't chosen in some ways, if that's if you're getting tangled up on my words, there's your ego's treat. But he was having a nice, normal little life, a nice Jewish little boy. About the time they become men, apparently, and they have the ceremonies, they got to run away to Egypt. Why'd they have to run away to Egypt? Because here comes a deranged king looking for him because he's afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of losing his ego's seat of power. And so what does this king do? He kills every one of the firstborn in that area, every one of the firstborn men and males, the firstborn male children. They all get to die. And I know Jesus' character type, I sure do, his personality. He wasn't, I bet that really fucked with Jesus when he heard this king killed everybody trying to kill me. And here I am in Egypt. We see this behavior manifest, these trauma responses manifest as he stood in the squares up against organized authority called Pharisees and Sadducees and every other one of them that he could. He stood up and he fought. He stood up and he yelled in synagogues and he argued, because I'd bet you money on it that there was a component of Jesus that said, look at these assholes and hypocrites. Not one of them stood up to that king and stopped him from killing his own people and his own children of his nation. Not one of them stood up and said anything to him, but they got the audacity to look at each other and say, you, but they're scared of that king. They wouldn't do shit to him. They wouldn't even stop him or say one nasty thing to him. This is a den of liars and cowards and fucking vipers. Hypocrites. Every one of them. They henpick one another. And they won't stand up to what really oppresses them, let alone go inside and heal thyself. See this in everything that Jesus taught. Love, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, mercy. Love thy neighbor. Pray for those who hunt you like dogs. Pray for those who hurt you. Love thy enemy, damn it. All these things are responses. All these things are responses to something in there. And we love to decorate it. We love to miss the truth every single time, don't we? Oh, this was part of a plan. This was the result of trauma running through a nation unchecked, unhealed. And it's doing it again in America. I guess in a few thousand years, they'll tell a story about a place called Ancient America, and they'll decorate it, and they'll horrify it. And they'll never know the truth, that in this country, people decided that they wanted to henpick each other instead of hold hands and love each other. They wanted to abuse one another. They wanted to traumatize one another. They couldn't respect each other in their private lives, in their public lives. They can't even respect each other at a fucking job. They can't even love their own flesh and blood family members in this place. I'll tell you something, it might have very well been a plan. God, it might have been, I don't know. God didn't come to me and speak to me in English and tell me all these things that he knows that I don't know. But I tell you this, it sure hell flips that story on its ass when you understand what drives a choice and decisions and radicalism like that, because you've lived it and because you've seen that there's something beyond that. If you just heal it, everything will change. The whole damn world will change. You can believe whatever you want, and that's fine. It's heroic what Jesus did, and I'll never take that away from Jesus, because we need those lessons he had to teach, and we need his symbolism, and we do, because there ain't no one that was quite like Jesus Christ. There wasn't one who outright said, love thy neighbor, even when they beat you to death. Love them anyways, because there's something greater at stake here. And that's the part where most people go, yeah, your soul in heaven when you die. No! A better tomorrow for those who come after. For those who come after will do even greater than I have. You touch these kids like I've been touched, and I'm gonna fuck your shit up. You mess with these kids and you're gonna find out. You corrupt these children with your bastard views and your nasty egos and your nasty confusion and blindness. It'll be worse for you than it ever has been before. Jesus is standing here knowing better than all of these people and seeing how they're so quick to pick up a rock and murder somebody over something so stupid as ego shit. Jesus died to give us something new to believe in too, because when we believe in something, it's as he said, it will be. If you believe that your neighbors deserve death, if you believe that anybody around you deserves death because they hurt your feelings, because they've done something against you, if you believe they should suffer, then so it will be, because you believed. The ego cries out, they hurt my feelings. The ego cries out all kinds of things. But ain't none of that us. If we believe it, that's the only way it becomes real. He died so we could believe that we didn't have to pick rocks up and we didn't have to kill children out of silly, stupid shit. The world might be better than when he left it. And people are piss all over his vision and all over his dreams and all over his aspirations that he gave his life for. People piss all over him and decorate him up and say, well, I hate this place anyways. Lord, come pick me up from camp. Shut the fuck up and quit whining. If you have to cry, cry. If you have to mourn, mourn. But if it becomes a personality trait, somebody needs to tell you to shut the fuck up and help you heal. There are many people who have it easier than others. They might have had one bad experience, and then they go and they get lucky, it passes, and they heal maybe. And they look at somebody like me, got a mountain of fucking, got a graveyard built right inside. And I just don't get why you don't have it so easy. I don't care if you get it or not, because I understand it. And your worldview and your rules and regulations, they don't entrap me, because I'm all spirit, no body. If I die in this body, I'll surely hop out of this one and climb into something else to drive around. I just imagine Jesus getting on that cross so willingly. He said, and still sitting there with unhealed traumas of his own. And anybody who knows what that's like, and you get up and you move anyways, and you do it, and you do what's right anyways, and you do what you want anyways, whatever. Anybody who can still get up and move full of trauma-riddled and held down with stuck, lost energy inside. It's like moving around with 1,000 pounds of weight inside of you, and you can't take it off. You gotta heal it out. Sitting there getting on that crucifix, thinking, that cross, thinking, all my friends died when I was a kid because of me. It's my time. And that's not true either, Jesus. They didn't die because of you. And so many times the victims look around and they blame themselves, and the world is so willing to blame them because the world is just like all those organized hypocrites of his time. They're afraid of the aggressor. They're afraid of the bully. They're afraid of all of that. They're afraid to stand up for what's right because the king might kill them. Well, that option's off the table. What else can we do to express these feelings instead of what's right? Let's do what's wrong. It's the victim, the victim, the victim. They always give you a consolation and a prize when you see a complete dickwad get what they deserve. Oh, and then he died from this or that. And this, they let you know that don't worry, justice, right? I don't think people really want justice. I don't even think I really care about all that shit anyway. I think what we all want to do is just feel normal and content and blissful and joyful. Well, good luck, because you're on a fucking wild-ass bull with a belt they just strapped around its nuts and the chute just opened. Welcome to life. Oh, and by the way, you don't even know how to ride this thing, but you're expected to stay on it with no problems, no inconveniences, none of that. Ride the bull or die. The mantra of this world is get stronger or die. Mantra of this world is be as lazy as possible and be a parasite to everything that you can. What this world teaches, and as you look around it, you'll see it. It's undeniable evidence. If you go into a church and you sit there and you sit there and you listen, and all you think about is what's going to happen when you die, you've lost it. Those who do such things like that, even when they lie to themselves, it's evident in their action. The tree always bears the fruit that represents it. If you have to be bribed with prizes at the end of life to do what's right, you'll never go there when you die. You never go there when you're alive, because the ego is your God, and you're going to die with it if you don't overcome it. Life goes on and on and on. On and on and on. One day you're walking through life as a kid, and nobody can understand why you're always crying and why you're always jumping up and down and why your emotions are too damn big for your body. And then you realize that you're tied spiritually somewhere. Your soul just wouldn't fit in one body. And then life comes in cycles over and over and over again, and we can only get a little bit wiser. We stand there, and then one day somebody exactly like you appears, and it's undeniable. God's even putting signs straight in front of you. Everything is in sync and everything is flowing right. And you can't help but see every bit of yourself inside of that person, every last bit of it. But that person has not healed the things that you have healed. And you get to live your karma, don't you? Things you did in ignorance, you now get to watch someone else do to you in ignorance. No one can meet your needs. Only you can. I guess that's what Kurt's supposed to learn. If you're born on this planet and everyone absolutely fails you every single time, can you heal yourself? Can you meet your own damn needs and not be tainted and not be poisoned and not fall into temptation? Guess that's just how it is. Guess that's the part where I should yell out how unfair it is. Well, I don't yell how unfair it is and vent. I beg it to sit down with me and help me understand why I feel unfair. That's the only way we ever stop feeling like life is unfair, if we heal it. And we got the wisdom, and we distill the knowledge, and we knowing, and we understanding. That's the only way it ever stops being unfair. Very spirited this morning. The spirit's called venting. The spirit's called wrath. Well, that one's not here. It's called passion. Nothing's wrong with passion. Not really wrath. Wrath is where I would be like setting the forest on fire and dancing in its flames, right? That's not how I feel. I still understand how somebody does that. I still understand. You know, I ain't never been perfect neither, guys. But I'm telling you the best I can explain how I feel right now. There's only been one person that ain't never abandoned me on this earth. Oh, Dana has lived up time and time and time again, as Jesus said it best. If you done it for the least in my family, you done it for me personally. I don't normally name drop people, but she's a little bit different than people. God always gives us what we need. You think you're above having a bad mood and expressing how you feel until you can feel better and you can know better, and of course you can express differently and better. If you think you're above the rules and you just go through life, just keep on pushing it somewhere else in your body, just keep on going. Oh, this must be normal. This made me normal. How unfortunate for you. You will soon be as that sheep that's lost in the wilderness, surrounded by wolves and coyotes, as you bleat out, "Save me, Lord, save me, I'm lost." Healing ain't pretty. People who break a bone, good for you. People who lose a leg, how unfortunate, of course. Let me tell you something. Until you've had to walk through the valleys of feelings and find yourself swimming in deep oceans of emotions, and you're supposed to separate the thoughts from them so you can understand them, so you can cure thyself, so you can heal. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you right now. You have to be an absolute lunatic and a madman to undergo this. You have to have an absolute love of God and a zeal for the divine, a fire inside of yourself to do this insanity. Because you don't even care if you're functional or sane. You don't care about none of that petty shit. All you care about is, I want to be with God. Storms come and go. Emotions come and go. Hell, even people, places, and things come and go. So there's no reason to worry. There's no reason to feel crippled, beaten down, and hurt by anyone. I feel this way now, and 5 seconds from now when I sit down and I have a resolution and I've resolved these issues, I'll not only be better off and healed, but I'll feel completely different. And maybe a few seconds or minutes later, I'll become a completely different form once again. Who knows what I'll be in 10 minutes from now? Let alone a day from now, and then further still, a year and infinitely from now, who knows what we will be. And all these things we feel, that feels like we've drunken poison, we feel like we can't stand it, and we're trapped in our body instead of living in our body. All of these things, they come to pass. All of these things will pass. Maybe they'll come back to visit again. We'll be wiser. We'll be able to understand them better, and we'll be able to move on a little bit quicker every time. Not push away, not flinch away, not turn away, but heal faster. Then maybe we develop that personality, or that not personality, but relationship with ourselves. And we understand completely. And when we even feel like, no, this is no worry, let it go, then it'll just pass right on through. Like driftwood on a river going to an ocean. This is the most beautiful place on earth. And God said, Kurt, whenever you feel the feelings you feel, till you can heal them, when you can't fight, when you can't wrestle, withstand. And Kurt, I give to you a place that will heal you if you'll just sit in its glory, because its glory is my glory. And no matter where you go and where you find yourself, there I am again, Kurt. There I am again, surrounding you with my presence, flowing through you, through your heart and all of your chakras with thy presence. Through all of your blood and every cell and molecule, there I am again, Kurt. I'm the same one that has been at the beginning. I'm the same one that will be at the end. And then once again, and again, and again. And when you despair, know that I'm standing here with a whole legion of the supernatural, the angels, the whole damn legion of them. And Kurt, tell me about how you feel about every time that you said, purify me with fire now. Don't you put the damn fire out, God. Because discomfort is temporary, but you are forever. I can find my own fire extinguisher, and you'll show it to me where I can't find it. When I can't find water to put out these flames, and when I can't find resolution, I'll drop down and roll until they're out. And if not, then I will die in them. And that's perfectly fine, because I detest quitting. You don't have to succeed, but damn it, you've got to try. It doesn't have to look pretty. It's going to look ugly. One day you're going to be cussing your neighbor out, and the next you're going to forgive them. You're going to beg them for forgiveness, and the next you're going to give them your coat. And then when they come to you, if they do, and if they don't, you do it anyways. You forgive them anyways, because forgiveness is for both of you, not one or the other. One or the other ain't greater than the other. You free them, and you free yourself by extension. When emotions flood through you, if you'll sit there and feel your body, somewhere where they stop is this stiffness, this resistance. For the love of God, find a way to relax it. Find a way to relax it, and it'll pass. And don't just cope by relaxing how you feel. Heal that shit. Heal it. You can't walk through life crippled for 80 years of your life thinking it's normal, because it ain't. You can't walk around isolated from your damn family thinking it's okay and that's normal that you feel miserable because you forgot how to feel any other kind of way. That ain't normal. You can't do that. You can, but don't. You can't go through life thinking, I got the Holy Ghost, and you got the damn trauma spirit driving you around. Where there's less ego, there is more God by fact. Where there is less God, there is more ego. You don't know what the ego is? I'll happy to give you a private lesson. I'll try to sum it up here and now. An ego is something that results from needs not being met. Usually all the way back into childhood, maybe in teenagehood, maybe sometimes in adulthood. When you have an emotion that you know what it is, it's because you've practiced it. That emotion has come to you because something inside needs to be resolved. That resolution is found within the ego, because the ego is like a pile of stuff. It's like a math problem. We'll go 2 plus 2 equals 4. One of this kind of experience plus one of this other kind of experience, and maybe more of it. But to be simple, one good experience of any kind, one good experience plus one bad experience equals piece of the ego. To go in there and resolve those traumas that are all the pieces, the memories, whatever, the thoughts that keep popping up at you like they're shooting Morse code to you. They need you. The feelings that come to visit are not the problem. They're like spirits. They're trying to tell you and communicate with you and get you to resolve what has woken them up and made them active in you. What has woken them up is inside of the ego. Your ego. Whoever's ego. The only thing that makes us different is our egos. Because without those, our beliefs of what we are, our positions in life, our experiences with life, the things that made us feel the way we are feeling, and the thoughts that are conjured, is in the ego. The only thing difference about you and me, doesn't matter if you're white, black, Mexican, Latino, Asian, whoever the hell you think you are. It doesn't matter. Because that's all ego. And beyond that ego, there is only us together. Because there is only God beyond the ego. I tell you the truth. This is Kurt's gospel. Gospel is a beautiful word, means good news, and I've got some for you. This is Kurt's good news to you. This is Kurt's gospel. And if you want to think of it like this, verse 1, chapter 1. Salvation is just a thought away, because a thought is in the way. Therefore, salvation is separate from you, but is only a thought away. You get the thought out of the way, and there's your way to salvation. Glory, glory, hallelujah, amen. You got to sit down and meditate. You got to make a table. It's like the Last Supper. You're going to put yourself at the head of that table. Don't worry about hurting Jesus' feelings. Don't worry about hurting God's feelings, because they ain't got no ego to hurt. Because beyond Jesus Christ was God. Because Jesus Christ is a name, and names belong to the realm and dimension of the ego. We are all the same beyond the ego, because God is in it all and God is it all. And some folks ain't ready for the truth. They wasn't ready in Jesus' time. They wasn't ready way before in Buddha's time. They wasn't ready in Muhammad's time. They wasn't ready in any other time. Well, that's too damn bad. Buckle up, get ready, and shut up. We're going for a ride. I didn't come here to be a human being in a body. I came here to be the Spirit. And the Spirit's always willing and ready. Hallelujah! The only thing that is in our way from one another, and love as it should be, unconditionally, but that's how we should know it. So we really don't need the word if we know it. That's like a training wheel. The ego has to be resolved. The pieces of it has to be resolved. So the emotions, the feelings, the spirits, they can finally get some damn sleep. And as a result, you'll feel better, because there'll be more energy. You'll start to heal physically from things. You'll start to heal spiritually from things. Let me tell you a funny story. Kurt hadn't laughed for 15 years. And then he figured out to heal himself. Sure, right now, he's a little down. But even in there, I can't stop laughing. It's time to let go of who we were so we can be who we were meant to be. That is even still beyond a thought. Because thoughts are just the way feelings and emotions communicate with us and come to us and seek resolution. You're going to go up there and you're going to do this. If you suffer from extreme emotional pains and you've got that vivid imagination like I do, you're going to make yourself that table just like Jesus was sitting at in the center of at the Last Supper, and you're going to sit your ass right there in Jesus' spot, and he's going to clap and say, heal yourself, heal, heal, heal. This is what I was teaching. Jesus got mad when people couldn't grasp what he was teaching, and he'd tell them about it. He jumped up and clapped when people grasped it, though. going to please Jesus, then grasp what he was teaching enough that you can do it in real time. Because every bit of it you can. You just have to believe. You're going to sit at that table. And sure enough, when you open up for business, you're going to say, maybe you make something else to sit at. Kurt likes the Last Supper. He likes to sit down and be surrounded by his apostles, his feelings, his disciples, his emotions, all those things. He likes to hear what they have to say. Sometimes they're talking over each other. But I feel the more time I spend with them, the more time they learn how to sit at the table and take turns. And Kurt has to go in there and he has to hug unfairness and he has to love unfairness because Kurt wants to heal unfairness. And as unfairness is healed, so too will I be. Healing's ugly, guys. It might hurt, it might be uncomfortable. Hell, I haven't broken a bone, but I got hurt physically, and when I moved around, it never left me. So I understand how physical pain can impair us. But in my honest and humble opinion, there ain't nothing like a problem you can't see that you're expected to fix. You have to learn how to see with your heart, how to feel with your heart, how to see with your eye. You have to learn where the tension is inside, where the resistance is. And even if you relax it, that's a coping mechanism until you can fix it. Once you learn how to resolve it and fix it, you go for the throat like a hungry coyote. And what that means is you hug it like Jesus would. Kurt likes to be hyperbolic. I like to be hyperbolic and radically fanatic in my examples. And I also at the same time see how saying go for it, saying love your feelings, go for them, go for the throat, go for the kill shot. I'm saying knock it out of the park, Tiger. I'm not saying wound yourself. I'm not saying hurt yourself. I'm saying do it so well, you're going to feel like a starving coyote. Oh, I found food right before I died. How excited I am. Yeah. That's what it'll give you a reason to go, oh! It'll give you a reason to do it. Essence of it is feel excited when you're doing it because you got it. You got it. And you're doing that, that's how I do it, and you'll feel better. You won't even care if your enemies get punished. You won't care about if they're even your enemy. In fact, you probably won't feel like you have an enemy. Life's better when you ain't got no enemies. That's hyperbolic too when I say it. We have got to have both our analytical mind, our left sides of ourselves, get together with our right side. And they've got to play nice and work together. You need them both. You need that logic and that analytical side, and you need that creative and dreaming side. But you need them not to be separate. You need them to get together. You need both of them. I told you at the beginning, 5 seconds, now I'm sad. 10 minutes, I'm going to be happy. Because we get better at balancing. And then we make ourselves as we want to be. The way I see it is if Kurt practiced emotions like aggravation and frustration, and I learned how those were happening, and now I can use that wisdom to make happiness, make joy, to make bliss. And I have no other way I can word this, and that's okay, because it's my mouth, and I can say whatever I want in this country, at least. When you're full of bliss and joy, it's like being full of orgasms. And all you got to do is sit there for the ride. Fasting helps us to get to that blissful state. Fasting from everything. But you'll find out what helps you more. Because mechanically, biologically, we're a little bit different than each other. We are. But these differences are superficial at best. And they should only be understood as, how can I work on myself? How can I understand myself? How can I know myself? Because there is a uniqueness to this world. But no one's going to tell you that tree right there, that's not a pine tree, and that pine tree right there, they ain't trees together. They're all beautiful. And so, it's okay to be unique, but our uniquenesses should never divide us and make separation, for we have fallen prey to the ego when that has happened. And we ought not ever fall into its control, because it is but a survival mechanism and a defense function to meet our needs that were so awful when they weren't met. We can't help but act out in ugly ways, negative ways. So what we got to do is we got to appreciate each other's differences. Not beat each other over the head with crucifixes and Bibles or anything else otherwise. I'm going back in there. That place is full of awesomeness. Going. Yes, sir. This is beautiful. I told you the presence of God was in here. Yes, it is. Right in here. Right in here. And everywhere. This is pure energy, guys. If you never stood in a forest and just stood there, you don't know what you're missing. Go try it. But I get back to the original point, is fasting. You can fast from food, you can fast from books, you can fast from TV, you can fast from social media, you can fast from sex, you can fast from you get the idea, you can fast from anything. Fast from the world. The world encompasses everything. But I believe you can find out how to fine-tune that just for you. I like to fast from everything. Like, I like to see how far I can go before my stomach is begging for food sometimes. And then I encourage. I say, we can go just a little bit further. Come on with me, follow me. And we do. We get. And, you have to eat like a cracker a day or something. Fasting is also about learning how to do more with less. And you do that, and you get better at it then too. And everybody should try some fasting. They should try some new experiences too. And they should try to dive into that big, deep, beautiful ocean of emotion and just float about and feel it, no matter what kind it is. It's come to you for a reason. Resolve, resolve, resolve. That is the answer. And we all do this differently. I shared with you my method, and I can't share it enough because it's life-changing. It really is gospel. So guys, I hope everything goes your way. And I hope nothing but all the good things in this world happen to you. And my door is always open. And if you burn the bridge down outside of it, and you even burn the door frame down, don't worry about none of that, because I happen to be one of the world's greatest carpenters. So have a good day. See ya.